Therefore, if suppose the body which is given to you, unless there is a pain principle, when you knowingly or unknowingly start abusing this body, you can abuse it in more than one ways. You can eat anything. Eating wise you can abuse. And all the senses which you are using, you can abuse it. 12 hours you sit with a laptop, that's abusing. You started listening music for 12 hours, it's abusing. You can subject this body into this abuse because you have a free will. Therefore, traditionally we say, all these 5 senses, for each senses there is an intelligence behind it. That intelligence is personified and we say it is a Devata. So, Chakshu has got its own Devata, each sense organ has got its own presiding deity. Therefore, when you see something, you are giving havis to that presiding deity. Havis means offering. So the world is entering into you, it's an offering unto that presiding deity. But if you abuse it, there is Devata Kopam. That is our traditional word, Devata Kopam. If you give more offering, then there is deity would react. If you are not giving, equally deity would react. The deity, which are the presiding deities of your senses, would react. It is a traditional way of saying it. Our point is, this world which you take in inside, then through these 5 windows, sense organs, and there is a free will. The person who is enjoying this free will can have every possibility of abusing it. Therefore, when you are abusing your body in many ways, then there is a pain principle. Unless that pain principle is there, how can you correct yourself? How can you correct yourself? So the pain principle for which there is a locus, body can be a locus. Physical body can be the locus of pain. But sorrow is not centered on your physical body. Pain is centered on your physical body. Sorrow is not centered on your physical body. Where is the reference you give for sorrow? That we have to know. Pain means what? It has got a locus. I am eating Benefipa every day. Then your pancreas would say no more insulin. Because it has been overworking. You make the pancreas overworking. It was started overnight it was working. Then it says, enough, I am not going to manufacture this enzyme called insulin. Then you have to administrate it from outside. So, when I start abusing this body for so many ways, the pain principle which has been given by the Lord, so that you can correct it. You can stop abusing your body and do something with your body. You can regulate your behavior so that you no longer abuse this body. You start respecting it and giving what is needed. But is sorrow for which your body is the locus? What is its nature? And equally you have this fear principle. So the pain principle, fear principle, these are all part of laws which are not separate from the order which you call the Lord. Unless you have this fear principle, then you will be flouting all the traffic and walking. So the fear principle which helps us to protect ourselves, if that is not there, then life would be impossible. You don't have that feeling of fear, though there is no sense of protection. So the one side there is a fear principle, it creates a sense of protection in us. That with that sense of protection only we can conduct ourselves. Otherwise you will be walking when the vehicles are passing, you will be just walking because there is no fear. There is no sense of protection. So this fear principle, pain principle, these are all part of the order. But is sorrow part of the order? So from where sorrow comes out, stems from, emanates from? Sorrow is a particular kind of thinking. It's a particular kind of thinking. It's a style of thinking wherein you end up with sorrow. If it is a particular style of thinking, then can I live without thinking? Can I live my life without thinking? That means all kinds of thinking need not lead to sorrow.
Say it again.
All kinds of thinking need not lead to sorrow, because thinking is the only tool which helps me to live my life. Without thinking, there is no life. In order to get up from here, I have to think. To do my things, day-to-day chores, I have to think. So there is this functional thinking. Without this functional thinking, you cannot conduct yourself. Therefore, thinking is necessary. So two ways of thinking are there. One is functional thinking and another is identified thinking. So when there is an identified thinking, you are setting the soil for sorrow to grow. I mean metaphorically, majorly. Say majorly, I don't want to talk like that. So identified thinking leads to sorrow. What is this identified thinking? In identified thinking, there are two things. One is I, another is mine. I sense and my sense lead to sorrow. When you think in terms of I sense and my sense, it leads to sorrow. That means, if you have a demand upon an object, and based upon that demand, when you project your well-being, the well-being in an object, when there is a projection of your well-being in an object, then you start thinking in an identified fashion with that thing, this is mine, or I want to make it mine. Once you have made it your, once you have owned that up, this mineness would be there. That sense of mineness, because before owning that up, it has expressed itself in the form of a desire. While the desire is a demand upon an object, I want it, it's a desire, there's a projection. Then suddenly you become uncomfortable with yourself. Once that desire has gone, because you own that up, then there is a sense of mineness in it. You are associating yourself with it. Then any association would end up in dissociation. You have to protect it. Once something has become yours, you have to protect it. That means what? That sense of protection is a kind of projection. It has got nothing to do with the object outside.